It's time to get geeked out with the Geeked Out Podcast with your hosts, Brian, Rob, and Jason.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to 2016. This is the Geeked Out Podcast. With us today, my name's Jason, and we got Rob with us. What's going on, Rob?
What's going on, guys?
Not much, man. It's like we have actually a really long show that we're gonna try and get through. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff's happened here in the last couple weeks to kick off 2016 already. It seems. But Brian is not with us today. He's got a little bit of some work schedules, and what I think he's doing is he's locked himself in a room with all his comics, and he's doing some pretty high speed reading with all the new stuff he got for Christmas. That's my guess, but Brian will be back with us. It's just he's not here today, but I'm sure he's listening, and he'll send us some text message here maybe about the show. But no, so how was your New Year's there, Rob? Everything go good?
Yeah, we had fun. Just spent it with friends and family, and yeah, not super crazy, but definitely it was a good night.
Yeah, we had I actually ended up working New Year's Eve, but for the holiday season in general, real chill, real mellow, real good time, man. So, as far as the podcast goes, this is the first one of the year, but we've really expanded. I mean, our Facebook site's still getting some traction. We took a break there during the holidays, so Instagram's getting good hits. Twitter, we're getting good hits. We're getting some views on every episode we put up, so. We're making traction. It sounds like we're doing everything we can. So make sure if anyone likes this, let your friends know that this is the best geek podcast there on the internet, and check us out.
Yeah, definitely. And anybody who's following us on any of the social media things, feel free to make comments. If you have any questions or you want us to talk about anything in particular, or if there's anything that you feel that we're missing, just let us know, and we'll definitely check it out and address it and see what we can do with it. Yeah,
and to the ones that did have already reached out to us, we're going to be talking about some of the stuff you mentioned. So that's what we like to do. We like to talk about what the fans want to talk about. So, unfortunately, Rob, we start off with the news every game or every show, and we're just going to get the sad news right out of the way. And You know what? Maybe let's not take it as a sad. Let's talk about how awesome this guy was. Let's make it a real thing. But Alan Rickman died, man. Can you believe that?
I tell you, it is not a good week to be a 69 to 70-year-old British male. It's obviously we had you had Lemmy from Motorhead passed away, 70 years old, cancer. Then Bowie passed away, 69, cancer, and then we the loss of Rickman. I think Rickman probably resonates a little bit more with us and our audience just for his contributions to our community. Obviously, a decade playing Severus Snape in the films. Now,
did you read the books also and also read the film? I mean, did you read the books and watch the films?
Yes.
Okay, in your head, when you see Snape, do you see Alan Rickman when you're reading the books?
Not when I first started reading the books. I didn't picture Alan Rickman, but once I saw Alan Rickman, everything that I read after that was in his kind of that droll, well, not droll, but that kind of that low, drawn out voice that he has.
Oh, yeah. When I read it, I have a picture of him. I don't think I could think of it any other way. And he did a really good job capturing that. And I don't think he knew at the beginning that he was going to end up being a hero in the end.
Actually, I think he was the only one who knew where the story was going. I think at one point J.K. Rowling and he had a discussion, and if I'm remembering this correctly, she actually let him know. He's the only person, none of the directors, none of the producers, nobody else knew what direction the characters were taking, who was going to do what. But he was the only one, I think, who knew the how it was going to end up.
Wow.
Like he knew and he played his character that way. That's how he was able to, I think he played Snape so well.
Definitely.
Was because he was the only one who had that knowledge. He had the ability to draw on that kind of, I know what's going to happen at the end. I know where this is all leading up to.
Right.
which I think is really good.
Yeah, I think he did great. I think he did good.
Yeah. I mean, he was with those. He was Hans Gruber in Die Hard, everybody's favorite Christmas film.
Christmas film, yes. I was going to say, it's the best Christmas film ever.
He was in Galaxy Quest, which was really great. He was in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Well, he was the voice of Marvin the Robot, but perfectly played. Great role by him. And in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah. I hate to say it.
Really good.
I hated him
really
in Robin Hood
the movie, but
because he was so evil.
Great.
Yeah. But so here's the Alan Rickman, man. It was such a I didn't even know he was sick either. Like, am I just not tuned into the entertainment world?
I didn't know he had cancer. I think it's a difference in kind of culture,
Yeah.
You notice like Bowie had cancer for 18 months. Nobody knew about it. And I think it's just a difference in culture, kind of not wearing your personal life on your sleeve, separating your personal life from your public persona. But I mean, it's a sad thing, and it's fuck cancer, because it's horrible.
Yeah. So here's Alan Rickman. Raise the wands there for him. I hope wherever he's at, he's partying hard, because he really left us a lot of good acting and a lot of good memories. So. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So let's get into some geek news here. That's not too sad. Actually, some good stuff now, right? That started off with, and this one I read it. As soon as I read it, I'm like, we've got to bring this up in the show. But Amazon is trying to really jump into this video game market. They've been doing day release sales. So basically, if you order a game on release day, it'll end up at your house. But I'm guessing that was not as good, because they have to compete with those midnight releases and things like that. So they've said, now if you're an Amazon Prime member and you pre-order a game or order it within the first 2 weeks, Prime members will get 20% off of the video game.
I think that's a game changer for them.
I've just decided I'm going to buy through Amazon now.
Oh, I've a lot of friends and people that I know through the interwebs and the various nooks and crannies of the computer universe. A lot of people have commented that this is really it's going to draw a lot of business their way. And I think it's great. I think one of my biggest issues right now with the video game industry is that even though we're in an age of digital releases, there's no real it's like, I understand the price of a video game. They say, well, it's $60 for a video game. Fine, it's $60 for a video game. I understand $60 when you have to pay for packaging and you have to ship all that product everywhere.
Right.
But why am I paying $60 for a digital download? All I'm paying for is the code.
Right.
Which, maybe they think they're offsetting costs of whatever, but I think if you're not getting an actual physical product, and they're saving money on the distribution because they're just allowing you to download it from their servers. But at the same time, they're charging the same price as the product that they have to print up 100,000 copies of or 1 million copies of, and they have to ship to wherever.
Right.
And I just think that's ridiculous. And I think that this is Amazon's kind of, maybe that they're kind of throwing their hat into that ring and saying, hey,
well,
these distribution methods should be a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, specifically for me, I would not go to Amazon, because I would either do an Xbox download for the day of, okay, so that I can play at midnight. And let me back up. Before that, I would have gone to GameStop and gone to their midnight release, or if GameStop was busy, I'd go to my local Walmart, because nobody, in my area at least, nobody goes to Walmart for releases, and they're not really up on it. Sometimes you can get it early if you sweet talk the cashier or something like that. But if you, and I didn't go to Amazon because I have to wait. And the one time I did go to Amazon, it didn't come until like 8 p.m. on the day of the release. So for me, that was a long time, But 20% off? I'll wait till 8 p.m.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, I think so.
That's definitely a big deal. I think, with the digital, I think if they go with this 20% off and they get it to where if you digitally download it for your PC or your whatever your console is, if you can digitally download it at midnight that night, I think that's great. And if you're going to get the product copy in hand, but you and I are both a little bit older, so we don't really worry about that. Like I'm not, midnight. I'm kind of like, all right, I'm ready for bed. I'm not ready. I'm not geared up to play video games. I'm like, I'll wake up in the morning and play.
The only reason why I'm different is because I work nights.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why. If not, I'd be in bed. And honestly, the only games I order that I have to play right then at midnight are games that I'm really into. Like, I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan, so I got Xbox's Assassin's Creed digital down, that night,
Right. Yeah.
But Call of Duty, which in the past we have played a lot of Call of Duty. I didn't buy that, 24 hour. I didn't buy Fallout 4 immediately. I think Fallout 4 I waited. Fallout 4 was the one game that I got through Amazon that came at like 8 o'clock at night. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a big game changer for me. I'll probably buy most of them through Amazon now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you can pre-order and get it, and a lot of times with Amazon, you don't get you sometimes have access to all of the download stuff. Like I've seen, where you can buy it through Amazon and you can get access to a whole range of DLC content.
Yeah.
Launch content.
Not to keep going on it, but what I'd really like to see video games, and we talked about some changes, is one of two things. They keep talking about the price of games, and I get it. These people aren't getting paid enough, and I get all that. Like, I've heard the stories. But what I either want to see is the price to go up to, like, maybe $75, but I get every downloadable content ever imagined. You know what I mean? Don't sell me any in-game content once I pay a larger amount. Or lower the price to $40, $45, and then I don't care how much you try and sell me in the game. You know what I mean? But don't make a $60 game and then try and sell me stuff a $10 here, $20 here, sometimes $30, $40 for an expansion. Like, don't do that. Either make me pay $75 to begin with, and then I know I've got everything I need in that game, or give me a $40 game and then let me pick and choose from the buffet of what I want to order. Right now, I just think we're in the middle, and it's pissing me off, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think my biggest issue, I agree with the price scheduling, I think, or the price structuring. Mm-hmm. I think if they're going to say, this game is going to cost us $60, fine. But if I'm paying $60, you have companies like CD Red Project. They're very good about, we have a lot of things, with The Witcher. One of their big selling points was that they said, here's our game, there's going to be more content, and you're going to have access to it, and we're not going to charge you for it.
Right.
Now, you can buy, there'll be any in-game content that is actually already in-game. Like, I don't agree with locking stuff off and then charging to gain access to it.
Right.
I think if you've already done the work, and it's in the game, then that price structure, you're just trying to gouge the customer.
Right. If you want to open up this island for $5, you can do it. Oh, there's no download; it's already there. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm going to spend $5 for a 1 kilobyte download or a 4 kilobyte download that is basically just unlocking the content that's already on disk.
Sure.
I don't think. If you want to charge me for DLC, then it needs to be 100% absolutely new content that wasn't on anything.
Right.
And I like the idea of having, like, I can choose. I can say, you know what? I paid $50 or $60 for this game, and it was worth $60 for the game, but it really wasn't worth, I'm not interested enough that I want to have all this extra shit.
Right.
So I like that idea. I like the idea of, like, okay, I can kind of buy it. But I don't like I think Call of Duty really needs to just stop doing this bullshit 6-hour single-player thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to build a single-player game, build a decent, substantive single-player game, release that for people who like the single-player aspect, and then release, a multiplayer version. But
I'd almost be okay if they did those separate. Those are two separate games.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do two separate games. I would even think it would be better because they really don't. This is what I would like to see with Call of Duty. I would like to see them just give the multiplayer to Treyarch.
Yeah.
Because